Yo, welcome back to
Mario.
KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal. We are KAMMA, about to talk about UFC Fight Night Macau, which is taking place in China, in Macau, China. Main event is going to be Peter Yan versus Davison Figueiredo. But we are about to talk about our early predictions for the prelims, and we're going to talk about who's in the prelims. So let's start it off with the first fight. We got Mahashate Hayasayer against Nicholas Mota. Long Jiao against Quang Li, Lonayer Kavanaugh against Jose Ochoa, Carlos Hernandez against N. Tumendemberel, Zhao Can Feng against Ming Shi, Kiru Sahota against Dong Hun Choi, Su Yung Yu against Balgin Genesulai. So this is going to be one of these cards where we're going to have some hard time pronouncing names. So please forgive us if we get the names wrong. And we are going to start off with the first fight with Mahashate Hayasayer against Nicholas Mota. Who you got in this one, Andy O?
All right, so here we got a little bit about Hayasar here. He's a good striker. What I like about him, his kicks are a little better than his punches, I find. But when you're talking Moda, man, you're talking the more real power when it comes to both of them. He also has more experience, and I say what he has to do to win this fight is to use a low kick to open up that real strong overhand left hand, because that's his power shot. And he can knock out anyone when he lines that one up. So my pick here is going to be Moda. I think this is going to be a real banger. They're both going to try and knock each other out, and I think Moda is going to get that knockout first because he has a little more power, and because Hayasar, I never really thought he was that good personally. And I know he has like a 3-inch height advantage or so, but that didn't stop Moda from knocking out Tom Nolan when he cracked him, and Tom Nolan was like 6 inches taller than him. So that's what I see, man. I see a stand-up bag and fight with Moda coming out on top. What about you, Real Deal?
Yeah, this is one of these fights where it's very, very, very difficult to predict. These are not the greatest fighters out here, so it's going to be very, very close. It's going to be a banger for sure, this one. Now, just a couple of things I wanted to point out here with Mahashate Hayasayer. He's going to be the younger guy at 24 years old. We're talking a significant 7-year difference in age. Also, he's going to carry a nice 3-inch height advantage, and also a 1.5-inch reach advantage he's going to have there. Mahashate Hayasayer looked good in his last fight against Gabriel Benitez. It was a split decision, but he still looked pretty decent against him. Did lose to Vyacheslav Borshev by knockout, and also lost a decision to Rafa Garcia. He did knock out Steve Garcia, however, who's, I think, a very pretty decent opponent there, and also, he won a unanimous decision in the Contender Series. Speaking about Nicholas Mota, this guy very, very skeptical about his chin, though, because this guy has been, we've seen this guy get rocked several times, got knocked out by Jim Miller a couple years ago. He also got knocked out by Manuel Torres. So his chin is really not the greatest in Nicholas Mota there. Like you said, he did knock out Tom Nolan, but Tom Nolan is really not high level. Got a no contest against Trey Ogden, which was a premature stoppage there. But again, the loss to Manuel Torres and Jim Miller by knockout didn't look very good.
Well, Emmanuel Torres was a killer up until he lost last fight, let's not forget.
That is true.
Nobody ever gives Jim Miller credit for anything he does, so I say it's a good win for Jim Miller, but yeah, man.
But Mahashate Hayasayer, I find he's the better striker. He's a bit more polished. If this fight's going to stay I think the fight will stay on the feet. I don't think Nicholas Mota is going to be able to take down Mahashate Hayasayer. I find that Mahashate Hayasayer has the stronger punches. Like I said, he's younger. He's getting better as well. Mota has a bad chin. I got to go with Mahashate Hayasayer in this one. And also, don't forget, this is a fight that's in China. If the fight goes to decision, they will favor the Chinese fighters. So in this one, I am going for Nicholas Mota. No, sorry, Mahashati
That's
Hayasera.
right. Guy
I,
with more power.
I am not going for Nicholas Mota. I don't trust his chin. I like Mahashati Hayasera a little bit better in this one. So the pick for me is going to be Mahashati Hayasera. I have him winning this one by decision because these two guys, I think, are going to go to decision. I doubt there'll be a finish in this one. All right, so we're in disagreement with the first fight of the prelims. Let's move on up to the next one here. We got Long Xiao against Kwang Li. For this one,
Hey, in this one, did Long used to be wrong?
no, I don't think so.
Long wasn't wrong before.
No, no.
Okay.
It's funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Sounds,
Go
man.
ahead.
No, it wasn't him, man. Uh,
Oh,
all right, so to talk about this fight here, Long Zhao is the better grappler in this one. He pushes a crazy pace. He likes to drag his opponents. He likes to get them tired. He's got the better cardio as well. I like Zhao. In his last fight, he fought against Chang Ho Lee. He did lose a split decision to him, but that was his UFC debut. He's been in the road to UFC. Like again, these are fights that are guys that are in the road to UFC competition here. Kwang Lee has fought in the LFA before, where he did fairly well. Did lose his first fight against Chris Gutierrez in his UFC debut. I like the fact again here that Zhang Lao Long Zhao, sorry, is going to be the younger fighter, 26 years old. We're talking again a 7-year age difference. He's also going to be the taller fighter, 2 inches taller. They do have the same reach, but again, I really like what Long Zhao does. He's a very, very aggressive fighter. Like I said, if the fight goes to the feet, he's the better grappler. I think he'll take down Kwang Li. Like I said, he pushes a crazy pace, which is very, very hard for his opponents to keep up with. He drags his opponents. Like I said, he gets them tired. And I see him getting the win here over Kwang Li, who's a bit slower, not as good of a striker, and also does not have any ground game. So I like Long Xiao to win this one by decision as well. How about you, Andio?
yeah, I gotta go with Long Zhao myself. He is a good grappler, but he needs to get a bit of striking going to get it to work. I think, which I think he will against Lee here. Lee will try for a lot of takedowns too at times, but he's not that great of a grappler. He does have a ton of experience, but against a ton of pretty crappy guys as well. Him also, he's well-rounded, but not great. But the thing that's going to do it for me, I think, is the one with a little more volume and a little more variety. So Zhao doesn't have like tons of volume either, but I think he will go out volume Lee, which has who has less volume. So yeah, I expect Zhao just to get a bit more grappling going, get it to work for him more, and get a little bit more volume for the decision.
Yeah. That's another thing I didn't mention though is that Long Zhao has he's going to have the more volume in this fight. He's going to punch more. One thing to be careful though, Kwang Li is very, very powerful. He does have knockout power. He does have a lot of finishes as well. So Long Xiao has to be careful with that. Kwang Li, in his 8 wins, we're talking about 2 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 3 by decision. So he does have some power in his hands, which Long Xiao has to be careful of. But I think if he takes him down and gets him to the ground, he won't have to worry about getting knocked out or anything like that. All right, so we're in agreement with this second fight here with Long Xiao to get the win by decision. What about you? How do you think he's going to win?
Yeah, by decision.
Yeah, a lot of these fights I think will be ending up in a decision here. All right, let's move on up to the next fight here with Lone Air Kavanaugh against Jose Ochoa.
Yeah, I got to go with Loner here. I think he's the better striker, and I think he has a little more power, and he's more technical. But Ochoa, he also has power too, and he's the more aggressive guy with the more like balls to the wall style. And I like his kicks also. I like that he switches levels with his kicks, something I always have to bring up. But with Kavanaugh here, he has grappling also, and some people didn't realize this. And I think he should use some grappling in this fight to settle Ochoa down. Because let's not forget, Ochoa is one of the Peruvian sons here, because he's from Peru. But he's not. I don't know if he's fighting out of Peru or either way, he's Peruvian.
Yeah,
And
fighting
they haven't been doing the greatest for us. So expect Ochoa to throw lots of hard shots, many of them coming from everywhere, and in other words, far less technical than Kavanaugh here.
exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with you here. Definitely like Loner Kavanaugh to win this one here. He's definitely, I find, the better fighter here between these two.
I gotta
Kavanaugh is
say,
more technical.
I gotta say, for those of looking for this type of stuff, Ochoa is more the dog. I find when it comes down to pure grit, like you gotta hand it to Ochoa in this one.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree with that. He's very savage. Loner Kavanaugh is he's a more technical striker. He's a more complete fighter. He's more polished. He has a higher ceiling, I find. He has that it factor. Basically, he has the grappling advantage as well. Jose Ochoa is very reckless, looks for a finish right away. He's very aggressive, but he leaves himself open a lot to get countered. Jose Ochoa, like I said, he's one of these guys that goes in there very reckless, sometimes attacks way too aggressively, where he can get countered easily by a guy like Loner Kavanaugh, who's more technical and has more aim to his punches, whereas Jose Ochoa is more wild. He throws a flurry of punches. But he has to be, Kavanaugh has to be careful because Jose Ochoa does have some finishing ability. The guy has 6 knockouts and 1 submission in his 7 wins. So the guy is a finisher. But I think that Loner Kavanaugh, being the better complete fighter, I think that he'll get some takedowns, get Jose to the ground, where he's actually way better in grappling. So I think that that's where he's going to have the advantage. Again, he's from China. A lot of these Chinese fighters are going to win if it goes to decision here. Loner, in his own right, is not a slouch either. He does have some knockout power. He's got 5 knockouts to his name and 2 decision wins. So I got Loner winning by KO or decision in this one. Definitely think this is going to be another one of those fights that should be very exciting to watch. All right. We're in agreement with this one. Me and Andio both got Loner Kavanaugh. So far, we're in agreement in 2 out of the 3. Not so bad. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Carlos Hernandez against Niam Jargai Tumen Dembarel.
Tumen Dembarel.
Don't want to say that 3 times. Huh?
I said it a few times just to get it right. Believe it or not, with those names, like those Mongolian names, they're not really that hard to say if you just run it through, because it's compared to other names that are hard, there's funny pronunciations, but this is just more straightforward, but some of them have just like 30 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what, you're calling him to win or what?
Okay, so let's get into this. So for this one here, I got to go with Carlos Hernandez in this one, man. I know that his record looks really bad. He lost the last 2 fights. But he is going to be the taller fighter by an inch. The guy's fighting for his life. Okay. Now, Carlos Hernandez has proven to be way more refined. He's well-rounded. He's fought, obviously, better levels of competition. We're talking Ray Tsuruya, who's also in the UFC, where he lost a unanimous decision. He fought Tatsuro Taira, who's a G. We know how good Tatsuro Taira is. He's fought Dennis Bondar, Alan Nascimento, Victor Altamirano. So he's fought in the UFC and fought a lot of very, very good fighters. Whereas when we're talking about Tumen Dembarel, the guy is very green. Okay, the fighters that he's fought have been guys on the road to UFC, very low-level fighters, an 0-0 fighter, a 15-10 fighter, a 9-4. So very low-level fighters. where he was getting a lot of submissions and winning some decisions and also getting some knockouts. So he is good, but he hasn't fought a level of competition like Carlos Hernandez, you know? Again, his back is against the wall. He needs the win or he's out. He's the better grappler and he's getting better at striking. He's been improving. Tumen Dembarel is lacking in skills. Okay, he makes mistakes when he's grappling. He gets reversed. We've seen him get reversed. His striking is very mid at best. So I got to go with Carlos Hernandez here, the more proven fighter in the UFC, to get this win and upset this newcomer here.
I have no confidence in Tumen Dembarel. He comes at it. You know, he throws hard shots, and a lot of them that seem to come at weird angles also. And he also has subs that you mentioned. He finishes, but I think it's more like he almost knocks the guy out and then hops on top of them to get out that sub. With Hernandez, he's a very good boxer, I find, with nice footwork, just what you want to see, and he can also mix it up with takedowns. I think above anything, Tumen Dembarel's opposition is not only just it's the whole shebang of bad opposition, you know, the area and the place that he's coming out of and the fighters that they have there. Just like, you don't really know how good this guy is at all, I think. He really has to face somebody half decent like Hernandez, so we'll get an idea of that. And he's definitely facing the stiffest competition to date. So, give me Hernandez by knockout or decision.
Yeah, I forgot to mention how he's going to win. Carlos Hernandez, I got him winning. Let's see here. I'm going to say he wins by submission or decision. He has 4 subs and 5 decisions. He's never won by knockout. So I'll go sub or decision for Carlos Hernandez here over Tumen Dembarel. All right, so we're in agreement with 4 out of these 5 fights so far. Looking pretty good. All right, let's move on up to the next fight. We're in agreement with 3 out of 4. All right, let's move on to the next fight here. We got Zhao Can Feng versus Ming Shi.
Okay, so this is another one of those tournament championship finals here, where I'm going to have to go with Feng here. I think she has more power, and I think she's going to try and keep it on her feet. She is the younger fighter at only 22 years old, so she's on the upswing, and she's looked better in her recent fights compared to how good Ming Shi has looked. And I think basically, I think there's more of an upside to Feng. They're both from China, right? So you're getting one that's 8 years younger here. She'll go for those takedowns, but she doesn't really do anything with them. So maybe if she just bangs takedown, she'll tire out Feng and maybe get a decision victory that way. It is women's fighting, but I'm gonna lean towards Feng here. The younger fighter, more upside, the one that's just looked plain better. So I'm gonna take her by decision.
Oh yeah, we got to go with Zhao Can Feng. Definitely on board with that one. The reason why also not only the 8-year significant age difference there between the two, whereas Ming Shi
8 years.
and Zhao Can Feng is 22, but we have to talk about the huge height difference here. Zhao Can Feng is going to be 5'7", Ming Shi 5'2". We're talking a huge 5-inch height difference. Also, a very, very notable 6-inch reach difference for Zhao Can Feng. So right there, the height and reach advantage, the youth, definitely looking good. Zhao Can Feng is bigger and taller. She's young. She's going to have a huge reach advantage. Like I said, she's very reliable, very good at getting takedowns. She's the type of person that's able to get in close, has very good trips. She'll go for the single leg, grab your leg, put you down. She's decently technical. Ming Shi's not a good grappler at all. And is not good on the feet either. So either whether the fight stays standing or goes to the ground, Zhao Can Feng is better in both departments, especially in the takedowns and in the grappling. So we got to go Zhao Can Feng by a landslide here. I have her winning this one.
Well, I think Feng's the one that's going to have to keep it standing, because I think she has more power. And I don't know. Do you think Feng's going to try and take down Shi?
Yeah, absolutely. Feng, she does have 4 wins by knockout, 5 decisions, but she's very good at grappling and very good at the takedowns. I saw it in one of her fights that I was watching, which was the last fight against Mickey Montano, where she took her down several times in that fight. So I think that she will be going for some takedowns in this fight for sure on Ming Shi. I didn't see Ming Shi's grappling takedown defense being at all good at all. So yeah, I got to go with Zhao Ken Feng to get the win here by KO or decision.
All right.
All right, man. So we're in agreement with this one as well. Looking good for the prelims. Me and Andy O in agreement with a lot of fights so far. Only in disagreement with one. Let's see if we keep the ball rolling here. Next fight, we got Kiru Sahota versus Dong Hoon Choi. Again, this is another tournament fight here, tournament championship for the road to UFC. Both these guys looking to make it into the UFC. I definitely am looking at Dong Hoon Choi here to get the win. I like him a little bit more in this one. And the reasons why I like him more. Dong Hoon Choi is a little bit more technical with very good striking. He lands cleaner strikes. Kira Sahota has what you call giraffe syndrome. Now, the guy's going to be 5'10", okay? So he's going to be the taller guy, 5'10" to 5'5". We're talking a 5-inch height difference here for Kiru Sahota. He's also going to pack a significant reach advantage. We're talking a 7-inch reach advantage here for Kiru Sahota. But he has what's called giraffe syndrome, which means that he's so tall and lanky and long that he looks very wobbly out there on the feet. Doesn't look like he has his feet planted. He's got a lot of defensive flaws. Fought lower level fighters compared to Dong Hoon Choi. And he only has basically a puncher's chance here. Dong Hoon Choi went through adversity in his last fight where he got bloodied up and looked very, very bad against Angad Bisht, where he was getting really fucked up in that fight. He was all bloodied up, and he came back to get the win. So he's fought adversity, and you can see that he's got that dog in him and that heart. So I like Dong Hoon Choi to get the win here. I think he's going to overcome Kiru Sahota, even though Sahota is very, very tall.
Yeah, I thought you were going to pick him. He has a reach and height. I'm like, oh, shit.
I know. Normally I would, but in this case, he's very, very wobbly on the feet, the Kiru Sahota. His striking is poor, he's got a lot of defensive flaws where he keeps himself open, doesn't really block any kicks or punches. So I could see Dong Hoon Choi coming in there and fucking him up. I got Dong Hoon Choi winning this one by KO or decision. How about you, Andy O?
Yeah, I think Choi has had, for sure, the better competition coming up. He is very tall, Sobota, here, and he's going to fight that kickboxing style. Key to win for him is just to try to maintain that range and tap away and win by points, because I don't think he has all that much power. What I want to see from Choi is, of course, to get in there and use some angles, but maybe try and take him down too a couple times. I know Choi isn't known for that, but I think he increases his chances even more if he does that. And try to use some elbows in the clinch. I think it's all how he gets in there and what he does when he's in there. And I think he will do it, because I don't think Sahota is all that great, despite all of that reach and size here, as you mentioned. So yeah, give me Choi by decision or knockout.
Perfect. All right. So we are in agreement again. Nice. This is looking real good for the prelims so far. Me and Andy O in agreement with all of the fights so far, except for the first one. Let's see if we can finish off strong here. We got another fight here. The main event of the prelims here, Su Young Yu against Balgin Genesulai. In this one here, it's definitely going to be close. That's for sure. It's not going to be it's going to be one of those fights that's going to be extremely close. It's not going to be one-sided for sure. But I definitely like Su Young Yu in this one. Now, very important to note that both of these fighters are pretty much the same. They're both the same age. But we're going to see here where Balgin has a height advantage. He's going to be 3 inches taller, and also he's going to have a 5.5 reach advantage. Okay, so that's one thing to note there. But Su Yu Young is very aggressive. Okay, this guy is very aggressive in his attack. He's got very good scrambling ability, very, very good jiu-jitsu. He's better than Balgin at jiu-jitsu. He's good at taking the back. So he's the type of guy that'll grab you, get you down, get on top of you, get on your back, and try to go for a rear naked choke. He does have low-level striking, though, so his striking is not really that great. Balgin is the better striker, but Su Young Yu will get the fight to the ground. This guy is relentless at takedowns. He will get to the fight to the ground, and he can get a submission. He does have some submissions in his back pocket. Like I said, his jiu-jitsu is really, really good. Out of his 13 wins, this is a guy that has 5 submissions, 3 knockouts, and 5 decisions. So his submission game is pretty on point. And we have seen Balgin get subbed before. The loss to, okay, he got subbed. I'll just go back a little bit here in the road to UFC. Balgin, where is he? Yeah, he got subbed a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, thing with him, yeah, definitely he doesn't have as good jiu-jitsu
Yeah, he got subbed a couple of
as
times
you.
in his career. By
But
some,
he does have double the amount of subs himself, actually, that Yu has. But I don't see him definitely being as much of a threat as Yu is.
that's it. I like I said, I like Sung Yu Yu's jiu-jitsu a lot better. I think he's the better scrambler and the better grappler. And like I said, Balgin's been subbed 2 times, so I think Su Young Yu gets the win here by submission or decision. All right, how about you? How do you think he wins?
Okay, yeah, I like the fact that he doesn't stay in one position when he scrambles around. He's always working to get into another better position and to look for a sub. So yeah, I just don't have much faith in Jensuli, who's going to try and keep it a striking match, I think. But yeah, I favor you in this one for sure. So give me you by sub or decision.
Beautiful. So me and Andy O in agreement with almost all of the fights in the prelims. It was so close, but we disagreed on the first fight with Mahashate Hayasayar and Nicholas Moda. That could change. That could change. We'll see on Friday's show if I'm still sticking with Mahashate Hayasayar. We'll see. Or maybe Andy O might switch and pick Mahashate. We don't know. But so far, so good. In agreement with most of the fights. So like and subscribe, folks. We are doing the research for you guys, man, so you guys don't have to do it. We did a lot of research for this one, man. These Chinese fighters that are very hard to predict how they're, how they are, because we don't see these guys fighting often, and unless you watch the road to UFC. So like and subscribe, folks. Let's try to get to 50 subscribes. We're close to 50. We want to hit 50. So guys, subscribe, smash that subscribe button. KAMMA, baby. Peace out. Stay tuned for the main card coming up next.